Hello, my name is Ty Wilson. I'm a left below the knee amputee, and I currently live here in Houston, Texas. The video today that we're making is going to be about routine care and maintenance for your prosthetic and your accessories, your sleeves and liners and that sort of thing. One thing I want to say that I always say before videos is a little disclaimer. What works for me may not necessarily work for you. I feel that I'm making this video to give you information and and for you to try out some different ideas and that sort of thing, but personally I think we've all got to kind of find our own path and what works for us. Hopefully you'll be able to get some ideas and take some shortcuts, things that I've learned over the last 3+ years that I've been an amputee. Two things that I feel are essential for daily maintenance on your prosthesis and your liners are antibacterial soap and a towel. Now, a note about the soap, I think it's best if it's a clear soap that doesn't have any perfumes or that sort of thing in it. And the antibacterial part, I'm not a big fan of antibacterial products. I was kind of raised on that old mentality that, let your immune system fight germs itself and that sort of thing. The only problem with that is with the liners, wearing a liner and sweating and it being warm there, it's almost impossible not to get a rash or something, at least I've found from my body, without using antibacterial soap. And I've tried all kinds of stuff, and this is cheap. It's like $1 a bottle. Other things I feel like you need to have, that you don't necessarily have to have, but I feel like can help with your maintenance is I keep a spray bottle that I've got from the dollar store. I've got 50% alcohol and 50% water in here. And I use this, not a whole lot, but for spraying stuff down and wiping it off to kind of help with germs again and help it dry quicker before I air it out and that sort of thing. Another thing that's nice to have is some antibiotic ointment in case you get a cut or there's a rash or something like that. This stuff is pretty handy. Other things that I feel are beneficial is some baby powder. You put this, it's good sometimes put this on the outside of your liner or your sleeve to help if it gets a little musty, that sort of thing. Some people, with myself included, use it, sometimes I use it on my leg to help if I am getting a rash or to help keep it dry if it's a really humid day out. And the last thing that I would definitely recommend getting is a lotion. Once again, with the lotion, just like the soap, I recommend getting something really basic, just a white, plain lotion without a bunch of perfumes and that sort of thing, and it just helps reduce the chance of having a hyperallergenic reaction of that sort. Okay, washing your liners. Now, for those of you who don't know what the liner is, it's the part that goes over your residual limb or your stump that actually fits into the socket of your prosthesis. So this is the barrier that's between your leg and the prosthetic. And washing it is real easy, something you got to do every day. And what you do is get you some warm water. Use your hands. You don't want to use a towel or anything like that, but this silicone gel type material that you're using, you're just going to wash it by hand with warm water. Make sure you get it covered real well. Sometimes when I've had a really sweaty day, been out running or something, I'll repeat the process a couple times. And the reason you don't want to use a rag to wash it with is this material is going to get lint and stuff like that embedded in it, and you're going to scratch it, and this goes against your skin. Same thing with drying it off. You're going to pat it dry. You don't want to rub it or get aggressive with it. Alright, so once you've washed and dried off your liner, what you want to do is turn it back inside out, and I put on these stands, and the stands are what came with the liner when I originally got these. When they ship them in the box, that's what these stands were originally used for. I think they're great for drying your liners up. You don't want, a lot of people think that you would want to turn them the other way, back inside out with the gel facing. I think that's a bad idea because dust and other stuff can get embedded in this material once again because it's very adhesive to foreign objects. I like to keep my liners close to indirect sunlight because Biology 101, sunlight is real good at killing germs and stuff like that. I didn't talk much about washing the sleeve, which goes on the outside of your prosthesis. It's the same process. You're going to want to turn it inside out, wash it by hand, pat it dry, all the same deal. And when I dry these, since they don't have a bottom, I'll kind of hang them with, like this part, just kind of drape them over the top of the stand. Now, if you don't have these stands, which you may not, you can always dry them, just lay them down flat on a towel or something like that to dry them. You may want to get some plastic Coke bottles or something like that to kind of help keep them propped open. If you're going to have them, you can just lay them on a towel on a counter somewhere. Okay, now something that I didn't mention about your liners is you should have 2 sets of them, at least 2 sets. If you don't, you got to work with what you got and just wash it daily and leave it drying when you're not using it. But the ideal situation to have is to have at least 2 of them, and to be wearing one day while the other one's drying for a full 24 hours. That way you can switch them out. What this does is it helps increase the life of your liners because it gives this material a chance to kind of relax, fully dry, and get some of its elasticity back. Another thing to be aware of and think about is washing the outside of these items, especially the sleeve, because people see the sleeve when you're wearing it. And I get dirty, if not worse than anybody else working out or just rolling around in the dirt to do push-ups or whatever. And what I do, and you may not feel comfortable with this, is I take mine off and I put them in the washing machine. I actually put them in the machine on a gentle cycle. Maybe just a tiny bit of bleach in there to help with when they get funky smelling. Same thing with these. I've washed them in the machine before. If you're not comfortable with that, which could be understandable, some people have different comfort levels, and another thing you can do is use a bucket. Fill it with water, mild detergent, and maybe just a tiny bit of bleach for germs. Okay, and that's it for this video. Hopefully there's some information that somebody out there can use. Next video will be a little more exciting. We'll get back to doing some sports type stuff. Thanks again. Take care.